This is gonna piss some people off, and I'm sorry.
I'm here for it.
Unless a guy is, even when he says boyfriend and girlfriend, I think you can still kind of have a roster.
Me too. No, at this age.
At this
age, unless I'm engaged to be married,
yes.
I kind of feel like...
When you're in your late 20s, early 30s, if a guy is not going to sit there and be like, I see us getting married, your roster is...
You can never have... You always got to have your backups. You always got to be ready. People are going to freak the fuck out.
You's a hoe. Just a hoe. You's a hoe. I said that you's a hoe.
We are going to be breaking down, again, the Call Her Daddy girls. Okay, and just to show you guys, this is their video title. It's When Is Your Hookup Roster Too Full?
But okay, listen, I take that back, because now we're sitting here with a normal human that's gonna be like,
oh, I'm not normal.
But like, say if you had like a boyfriend, like we are boyfriend and girlfriend. I understand, like, okay, you need to cut off your roster, like you
1,000%, yes.
But
this is an example of, and man, you guys don't ever see it typically, but behind the scenes, guys that will speak out about stuff like this, stuff that I'm speaking out about, we get this all the time. You get the old, like, you're a misogynist, you don't believe in love, you're teaching guys to be sexist, and you're being a like all of that crap. But this is why we always say, man, she's never yours, it's just your turn. She's never yours, it's just your turn. That is the only sane way to deal with women these days. Like, guys have to understand this. It's not the fairy tale. It's not, if I give her that ring and then I propose to her and then she's going to fall in love and we are going to live happily ever after. Boom, she's mine forever till death do us part. That's the fairy tale. That is not reality. She's never yours. It's just your turn. Listen to, just think about that now. And again, just listen to what she just said here.
This is going to piss some people off, and I'm sorry.
I'm here for it.
Unless a guy is, even when he says boyfriend and girlfriend, I think you can still kind of have a roster.
Me too. No, at this age.
At this
age, unless I'm engaged to be married,
yes.
I kind of feel like...
When you're in your late 20s, early 30s, if a guy is not going to sit there and be like, I see us getting married, your roster is... You
can never have... You always got to have your backups. You always got to be ready. People are going to freak the fuck out. But okay, listen, I take that back, because now we're sitting here with a normal human that's going to be like,
oh, I'm not normal.
But like, say if you had like a boyfriend, like we are boyfriend and girlfriend, I understand, like, okay, you need to cut off your roster. Like, you
1,000%, yes.
But
she doesn't really believe that.
She's the village bicycle. Everyone's had a ride.
You're using a Virtucon product.
And you guys got to remember that hundreds of thousands and even millions of women around are taking their daily advice or their weekly advice about dating and relationships from these fine young ladies. So this is, again, why we say maybe not every girl is like that, but we say every girl can become like that, because listen to what is projected everywhere. All these spots that women look to find dating and relationship advice, or the girls are like, hey, have you heard the Call Her Daddy podcast? They start listening and then they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been doing it backwards this whole time. It's that easy. So, are they all like that? No. Could they all become like that? Heck yeah.
Sophia?
This is how I see it. There are guys that are willing to say, like, I am your boyfriend, but if you are thinking that you want to get married and have kids, and this guy is not giving you that option, then you should be able to keep your options open.
Well, if they don't want to commit, that's the thing too, is when you get older, is like people's like fundamental like philosophies change. Like, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Whatever.
Yeah, right.
If they don't want the same thing as you, what are you supposed to do?
So even if he's your boyfriend, then you're kind of like, well, I want to eventually get married and have kids. So like, if there's another guy that comes into the picture.
All right, this is the game, right? This is the game. Okay, here's the timeline of how this plays out. Just like we heard Alex say earlier, it's like, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you still keep your roster. Well, at this age, in your 20s and your 30s, they're saying keep your options open, keep your roster open. Exactly what we break down every single day. What we all say over and over again, and people don't seem to get it if they don't see the pattern about this everywhere. So here's how this plays out. All these girls want to experience all the alphas in her early years during her most valuable time. Then she expects to settle with a betamon when she can no longer compete for the looks and attention with younger women during her declining years. So in her 20s and then 30s, they dabble around, they play this whole game, they are dancing around on that.
One, two, three. Snack time!
And then they're expecting that, okay, when I've had my fun, now I'm ready to settle down. They're expecting guys with these crazy high standards because they're taking the buffet from everything they've been experiencing all their dating, world. Well, I dated a guy that was 6'6". Well, my guy I have in my mind, he better be 6'6". All right. Oh, well, I got pounded by a guy with a 10.5-inch penis. Well, my future husband better have a 10.5-inch penis. Oh, this guy had, a $100,000 car. Well, my husband better have a $100,000 car, right? That's hypergamy, and women don't understand this, but the more that they taste and date around, right, their expectations get super high, and by that time, they are starting to hit that wall. They're starting to decline. They don't look as good as they used to, so all these really high status men go for the younger women, and then these women are left looking around with these super high standards, and then they're stuck, and they're lonely, and they're bitter, and it's all men's fault. Where are all the good men? Where are they? There's just no good men enough. There's no men that are willing to man up. There's just a bunch of boys out here these days. And then look at this meme, though. I love this part, too, when it says, when he doesn't cheat on you, loves you unconditionally, pays all your bills, and treats you like a princess. And it shows her, beating up on the guy, because that's how they do it. Oh, man. And then, along with this, okay, this is all kind of a part of it, and I got to give you a little recap so it's back fresh in our mind here.
That's the thing, too, is when you get older, is people's fundamental philosophies change. Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Whatever.
Yeah, right.
If they don't want the same thing as you,
Right.
what are you supposed to do?
So even if he's your boyfriend,
Right.
then you're kind of I want to eventually get married and have kids. So if there's another guy that comes into the picture.
So if there's another guy that comes into the picture, again, a perfect cliche they could say about monkey branching, okay? What is monkey branching? Another thing we talk about that people get mad at. But it's right here. We see this over and over again, right? We know this is the truth. All right, just like a monkey swinging branch to branch, a woman will not drop her old branch, her old guy, before being confident she is able to grasp a new branch, a new guy. Just like she said, well, keep my options open because if I'm with one guy, he's my boyfriend, and maybe we don't want the same things. Well, what if another guy comes along?
So if there's another guy that comes into the picture.
Yeah.
So, right, another guy comes along. If she can attain this guy and he's willing to commit, then, now she's done with the other guy, monkey branching. So a woman will start to openly look for new branches when she feels she can do better. Think fear of missing out. All right, this is the thing. And really, guys, even think about it like this, because a lot of girls, even if we didn't know stuff about pair bonding and we didn't know stuff about statistics where the more men a woman has slept with, statistically, she's going to be far more likely to be unhappy in marriage and then also to get divorced. So we see these correlations in stats, but even if we didn't, see all those stats and know part of the science behind it, if you just think about it, a lot of these girls walk around with this mindset of they're like, hey, I can go on 7 dates this week and I can keep doing that. And then eventually when I find the right guy, then I'll be ready to settle down. But they don't understand. That's like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day and then going, yeah, but it's all right. Like when I turn 30 on my calendar, I'm just going to quit cold turkey. No problem. No big deal. They think it'll be so easy to just give up this addiction of attention and validation and pogo stick hopping from one guy to the next guy to the next. That's such an addiction, such a rush. Just like social media, getting all the likes when she posts a thirst trap, thirsty pic, right? That's such an addiction that women are just like, yeah, I'll just date around and have fun. And they, like, even if we didn't know the science behind it, just the psychology itself, it's like these girls are like acting like they can just quit cold turkey whenever they want, and they can't. And a lot of times it's too late for the guy on the other end when he finds out that she was not able to give up that old CC habit riding. Like she wasn't able to give it up, so she was sneaking around. Well, a lot of guys find that out way too late because it becomes an addiction. Going along with that for one last part, right? This is the curse of hypergamy. This is the dark side of hypergamy. Is a woman dates around, her hypergamy will never settle for a man that she already knows she can get. So right, women are hardwired to get the highest status man that they can attain. So they get all these beta on, throwing all this stuff at them. They get these inflated standards thinking they can attain them. And then by the time she meets the man that should be a great fit for her, she sees him as lesser and takes him for granted because of what we talked about. She's like, well, maybe this guy would be a good dad, but he doesn't have the 10.5-inch penis, or he doesn't have the blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the dark side of this that people find out too late.
I was gonna ask you guys because this like occurred to me. I remember when this guy, like, he totally fucked me over. And that weekend, I did a good old drive-by by his house. And I was wondering, have you girls ever done that? And to clarify, a drive-by is
not a shooting. We are not shooting anybody. And then I went up and they were like, no.
No, but you just go to his house. And it's a little bit harder in New York. This is when I lived in Utah and I had a car. But you can just show up at their house and just see what they're up to. That's what did
you find?
The front door was locked.
Oh, damn.
And I like couldn't get in, so I didn't end up finding anything.
That's the worst when you can't get in.
Right, but
did you try?
All right, listen to these girls. Listen to their evil cackles. So this is I have to bring this back. If you guys have been hanging out in the live streams for a while now, you'll remember Brandon Evers. I had to dig this meme back up because Brandon Evers is my nemesis on earth. I've just decided that. Brandon Evers. This guy sucks. All right? We talk about... All right, Brandon Evers is a male feminist, all right? Remember this meme? My ex-girlfriend is crazy. That's code for I played with her emotions. I ruined her mental health. I gave her reasons to be jealous. I used gaslighting when she called me out. And now that she's justifiably upset, hurt, I demonize her, hoping other men won't want her and she'll come back to me. That's male feminist Brandon Evers. I don't like you, Brandon Evers, at all. Brandon Evers, my nemesis, guys. Brandon Evers. Brandon Evers sucks. Crazy Brandon Evers here. All right, well, Brandon Evers, let's see. The male feminist. Let's see. We just talked about drive-bys. Let's hear some more from these ladies. See if there's ever a reasonable excuse to say, you know, my ex-girlfriend's crazy.
Window. No, I think that I actually surprisingly have never done a drive-by.
Lame.
I know,
lame.
but I've had it done to me. And I was lying to the guy that I was dating in college. I was like out on a date with this guy, and I told that my boyfriend that I was like asleep. And I lived in a house with like my room was the first room, like in the front of the house. You could see into my room in the window.
Like facing the street.
Yeah, and so I guess he did a drive-by and looked in my room to see like my bed was just completely empty. And he texted me and he was like, "So how's that nap? Like, you're not in your bed." And I lied and said I fell asleep in the kitchen like an actual psychopath. And he was like, "What do you mean you fell?" I'm like, on the chair, on the table.
But
like,
honestly,
it was crazy.
Deny till you die.
That's what I did.
Deny till you die.
All right. Deny till you die. Any of you guys that have if you had a relationship with a woman or a wife, you know this game. You know this game. All right. Number one rule, guys. Never believe what she says. All right. I'm going to reiterate this all day long with women. Okay? Never believe what she says. Always believe how she behaves. This is the hashtag don't believe all women. Just like she said right there. Deny till you die. She was going to be caught cheating, but of course, deny till you die. Did you hear that? The boyfriend was like, oh, weird, I didn't see you there. And she's like, oh, I fell asleep in my kitchen. You guys, hearing the excuses that women have made up about lying to their boyfriends, significant others, husbands, or whatnot, you guys, they have a whole bag of lies and secrets that they can use to get away with this stuff. And if you get women talking in a group, right? If you get women talking about this and you're like, you know, you bring something up like this and you're like very open about it and you get them started, especially if they have some wine in hand, you are going to get them like a floodgate will open up and you're going to hear all of the stories, all the ways they lie, all the ways they set up. I think about it like this. It's women play this game with each other. It's very much like you and your friend when you're growing up that you wanted to sleep over like at your friend's house. And if, you might say you're going to go to your friend's house and you go to a party, but you and your friend are going to plan it with each other. You're like, hey, if my parents ask, just say that, yeah, I spent the night at your house. And then your buddy does the same thing to you. Women do this all the time. They say, yeah, I'm going to crash at Tiffany's house. We're going to drink. I might just crash there or whatever. And they have this all mapped out for them so that if they meet that guy that night that dances a certain way and they can just be swept off in the moment, they have this system already set up to where they can get away with it. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm just being honest. And these girls are revealing stuff like this right now. All we have to do is listen.
She belongs to the street.
So sad, so sad, so sad that you can yours.
She belongs to the street.
You might have said you love that girl, but she belongs to the gang. And when she went me,
I made him believe it.
He couldn't prove that you were in the kitchen unless he physically broke into your house.
Exactly. So
and then you can shoot him.
Right.
And then you can shoot him.
Get
the fuck out of here.
I had a guy do a drive-by, which is really funny because I had a guy over at my house, and the guy had his car parked outside of the house with the license plate from our high school.
Oh, Jesus.
And the guy that did the drive-by didn't notice. So I'm like, okay,
Wait,
what the
he
hell?
didn't notice that
He
was
didn't notice.
So what was he looking for?
I have no clue. I'm like, are you an idiot? He literally told me verbatim. He was like, it was such a relief. I saw that you were just home and no one was there. And I was
You're like, bitch, did you see the
someone
car?
There and
in here.
And actually here.
And actually really
right here.
We're keeping it right here.
I mean, good for you, I guess. Yeah, no, I did a drive-by and I saw a girl walking out.
No!
That relationship ended very quickly. But it was almost like he wanted me to do the drive-by because he had texted me and was like, hey, you should, it was very strange. College, weird things. And then one other time, I broke up with this guy. And I knew he was throwing a party, or I had heard, and I was like, okay. I was 19, I was very crazy, and I was like, I'm gonna drive by this party and see how many people are there. And it was a huge party, and my girlfriend that was with me was like, you should call the cops. And I was like,
oh, classic.
But he was an asshole. And nobody got in trouble or anything, but they were just like, no, party's over. Everybody's got to go. And
I like that. I think that's a good one.
He deserved it a million times, and he had all these girls over and was putting it all over Facebook at the time. I was like,
Wait, I love that
party's
so
over.
Did he find out it was you?
No.
Beautiful.
I know. He might now.
Hello.
Okay, guys.
Those who say don't know, those who know don't say. I'm done walking with the herd, it's time I go my own way.
And hey, I saw Carl in the chat here. He probably knows something like this. A lot of other guys know this, but here's an example. That story you just heard about, she broke up with a guy and she still couldn't she was having a party, so she called the cops to break up that whole situation. Like, even when they're broken apart, she still is in his life, making his life worse by calling the cops on him. Okay, check this out. This is what a lot of guys have a hard time swallowing. Always remember that she won't feel bad, okay? The woman you marry is not the same woman that you are going to see in court. If you get married, the woman you marry, you will never see the side of her that you're going to see in court. Ask any guy that is married, they will tell you this. Whatever woman you see, you're never going to think that there's that next gear. But if you have just spent your till death do us part life together, and then you're divorcing, and it's like she's going to take a Band-Aid off, she's going to want nothing to do with the relationship. A woman scorned, right? That is going to be the side of that woman that you have never seen before. When you walk into the lion's den, don't be surprised if you get mauled. And this right here is an example, of right here. Look at this, guys. Wife on wedding day here. All right. Carl might know that. Carl might be able to, vouch for this. Wife on wedding day. This beautiful little, what is this? A golden retriever. And then you got wife on divorce day. Look at that. Okay. So think of this when you've just ended your entire life commitment together and you're just so sick of each other by that point, and she has a legal system behind her. She's got a lawyer in her ear whispering, asking her all the things. Did he ever threaten you? Did he ever raise his voice at you? All the little leading the witness type questions. Just think about that and listen to how she reacted to a little breakup, where I believe she was the one that broke up. And this, to me, of the three, seems the least crazy of the three, just from my experience with them so far. Okay, it's going to be right here. Okay, just listen to the girls around her. Agree with her plot, her plan. Again, this is why you're going to have her with her friends that are all going to encourage her to take everything from you, or take as much as they can if you actually get married and they're going to divorce you. This is a huge thing, guys. This is a huge thing that I think a lot of guys need to hear before they ever think about getting to that next step.
And then one other time, I broke up with this guy, and I knew he was throwing a party, or I had heard, and I was like, okay. I was 19. I was very crazy, and I was like, let me drive by this party and see how many people are there. And it was a huge party, and my girlfriend that was with me was like, you should call the cops. And I was like,
oh, classic.
But he was an asshole. Like, and nobody got in trouble or anything, but they were just like, nope, party's over. Everybody's got to go. And
I like that. I think that's a good one.
He deserved it a million times, and he had like all these girls over and was like putting it all over like Facebook at the time. I was like,
I love that
party's
so
over.
Did he find out it was you?
No.
Beautiful.
I know. He might now.
Hello.
Yeah, right, guys. These are this is going to be the room that she's sitting around in with her girlfriends if you guys ever got divorced or, any of that stuff, and they're going to laugh about this. Oh, take this from him. Oh, remember all those times he made you stay with the kids and he went out golfing? Like, they're going to just pile it on, guys. So, again, you just got to remember that. You will never see the same side, like the side of her that you would see in the divorce court. You'll never see that from her in the dating stage, the honeymoon stage. It's going to be a different beast that you're going to deal with. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.